What's up everyone, my name is Mark Plant and this is MPV Vlogs. Hey everyone, like I said, my name is Mark Plant and this is MPV Vlogs. Thanks for coming in, I do appreciate it. If you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button down on the bottom. Helps the channel out quite a bit. If you're already a subscriber, thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. You make it able so I can do these videos. If you hit that bell icon next to the subscribe button, you get a notification anytime that I put up a new video. If you're using a mobile device, just make sure that notifications are allowed, or obviously you won't get the notification. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment below, let me know what you think. Alright, so what I'm going to do, basically I am in my workshop. I've done a couple of videos in the past showing how I've converted my basement, or half of my basement, into a workshop. Basically I was going to just pick up do some minor woodworking as a hobby and just something to keep me busy. My daughters are off at college and I just needed something to keep myself occupied. Well, basically what's happened is I've outgrown the area that I have. I need more storage and I don't have the room for storage. So I have to be creative on how I do the storage. That was a mouthful to say in the least. So what I've decided to do is on this wall behind me here, I've moved everything. Well, I've moved mostly everything away. I still have to pull some stuff off. I'm going to put in what's called a French cleat system. Now what a French cleat system is, basically is you put on the wall the French cleat, which is a board with a 45-degree angle. And then you create storage accessories. And on that one, you put a cleat on it with 45-degree angle on the opposite direction where they set into each other and gravity holds them into place. Quite simple idea, and to be honest, it works very well. I've used it once upstairs in my kitchen for a little shelving unit that I built for my wife. And I haven't had any problems with it. We can store items on it. It's quite strong. As long as you make sure you get it, the screws or the fasteners into the studs in the wall. So I plan on using it to hang my vices, my clamps, a lot of my hand tools, power tools, and hang them on there to get them off of my shelves and give myself a little bit more room. I can actually even create a shelf so that if I have wood that needs to be dried, I can put it up there. So, but the first part is I've got to get this wall in order. Like I said, this used to be a secondary living room for my daughters as children. Has a lot of holes in it, a lot of nicks in it, and I need to get it prepped so that I'm going to have to paint the wall, and then I'm going to put the French cleats up. So I'll show you step by step what I do to create the French cleat system. First thing is, the worst part, I've got to prep this wall. So let me show you how to do it. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to need to do is I got to get everything away from the wall, which includes all this garbage here. Okay, I've got to also get all this stuff off that I've hung on the walls. Everything's got to come off. So these luckily are just nailed on. Come off nice and easy. So now what I gotta do is I gotta come back here, I gotta take all these nails out. Alright, the next part is to use a pry bar and take any nails that I put in this wall out. Biggest part is to be careful that I do not damage the wall any further. That way it's that much less repair that I have to do. So I'm gonna go basically through this and take the rest of the nails out. Alright, next step is I gotta get these bumps and holes smoothed down and patched, get this wall cleaned, and then paint it. So I'm not going to keep the camera on while I'm sanding because it's going to create some dust, and dust in a camera is not a good idea. So I'll get back to you once I stop patching the holes. Alright, so I've got everything sanded down now. What I got to do is I've got to go through here and I've got to patch them with the spackle. Smooth them out, going to have to sand it down again. And then what I'm going to do is kills the wall and then paint it. I know, a lot to do for a wall that I'm probably going to just mess up anyway, but I want to make sure that it looks okay. So let's get the spackle, and we're going to start spackling the wall. I've got all the holes spackled up right now. Just waiting for it to dry. It's almost all the way dry. The spackle that I use is pink. Turns to this white when it dries. But you notice in the middle here it's still a little pink. Hopefully the camera picks that up. So it's probably going to take about another half an hour for it to dry. I'm going to come through, sand it all down. And then I'm going to kill the wall. Get a coat of wall. Wipe the wall down because there's still some dust on it. Kills the wall. And then go from there. So I'd love to be able to get the cleats up today. Not 100% sure I'm going to be able to do it. I might have to wait until tomorrow to do it. So this is probably going to be a 2-day video. Darn, wanted to do it in one. But we'll see. Hopefully I can get those up and be no problem. These patches over here are pretty much dry. I run the sander across them right now, and I'll show you basically how they look once I'm done. Like I said earlier, I don't want the camera in here. This is going to create a lot of dust. That's why you probably hear the dust collector up above. So I'll get back to you in a few minutes once they're sanded down. Right, so I've got everything sanded down, nice and smooth right now. I cut around the edges. I don't know whether you can see on the camera. Just save some time. Now what I'm going to do is roll out the paint on this. Once the paint's dry, then I can stop putting the cleats up. Hoping it gets done today. It'd be nice if it was done today. This here, dust protection. Got the dust filter going. This stuff put out a lot of dust. A lot of dust. But a little helpful hint, probably everyone already knows, I didn't know this, with the, where is it? The spackle that I used, don't use a power sander. Hand sander works better. The orbital sander that I used, it just clogged up the sanding disc. So, mental note, use a hand sander. Makes it a lot easier. So my next step here is I'm going to roll this out and then just wait for it to dry. Alright everyone, the wall is all painted, came out pretty good. I ended up having to do 2 coats of paint on it. I didn't want to have to, because to do the second coat I had to open up another gallon. But it needed it. It ended up coming out pretty good. Can barely see any of the imperfections that were in the wall. I could have done a lot better patching those up, but I'm going to be putting up the French cleat wall in front of it, so you're really not going to even notice it. Hindsight be 2020, I probably could have gotten away with the 1 coat, but if you're going to do something, do it right. That way you only have to do it once. Now this wall is painted. The one thing that I did find out, and you could see when I did the sanding, this paint here is from Lowe's. It is, what is the Lowe's brand? Valspar paint. The blue paint that was underneath this was from Home Depot. Now, granted, I put that up. That paint's been on the wall now for probably, I'd say probably 10 years. That paint came right off. There was, you just touched it and it was coming off. So I'm hoping that I don't have an issue with that paint, with this paint on top of it. That may be the problem, but I know from here out, if I'm going to buy paint, I'm going to be getting it at Lowe's. I go to Home Depot for most of the stuff that I buy. Just their prices are lower, and they've got a better variety of products, especially their lumber. Their lumber is 10,000 times better than Lowe's. Lowe's lumber is horrible and it's expensive. But as for paint, I use this paint. This is the paint that I painted my office with. It was really good out there, and it covered very well in here. You saw what the wall looked like. But in any case, I am going to have to let this sit until tomorrow. So have to get back on this tomorrow, put the cleats up, and then decide what sort of accessories I'm going to put on it. So for right now, I just got to let this stuff dry. I clean all the paint stuff, so I'm going to go outside and do that. It's cold out, so I don't want to do it in a sink though. Or I'll be back with you really soon to do these French cleats. All right, everyone. Recorded myself putting up the French cleats. Camera shut off. I didn't even realize it. But I have them all up. Basically, what I did was I had 1x7s, which are actually 3/4 by 6.5. Took them, and what you do is you take half of the width, so the 6.5 becomes 3 1/4, minus half of the thickness, which is 3/4, ends up being 3/8. So that ends up being so that I had to write it down. So that ends up being 2 7/8 minus the kerf of your blade. So I get down to 2 3/4. Cut it 2 3/4. I was able to get 2 cleats out of each 6 or 7, 1x7, 3/4 by 6.5. Got them all up on the wall. 2 construction screws, 2" into each stud. This is solid. I mean, this is really solid. This ended up coming out really good. What I need to do now is I'm going to run a sander over it real quick, just to make sure it's smooth, no splinters. And then on the tip here, because of that 45-degree angle, I don't have any left, darn it. It's going to be very sharp, so by putting any accessory on here that I do, I could damage it, and it'll end up looking horrible. So I just run over the sander, over the tip, just to dull it down a little bit, do it all 4 rows, and I gotta stop making some accessories to hang on here. So putting up the cleat wall was fairly simple, just a matter of measuring, figuring out the math. What I did, actually, the other thing, I wish that the camera didn't shut off because I could have showed you. I ended up taking 2 pieces of scrap wood, 5.5 inches, and I put it in between so that all the rows are the same distance apart. So that ended up working out pretty well for me. And the good thing with this, if I decide that I want to go further down the wall here, I could take out this border, which I put the border in so that anything that I put up here is not going to slide out. But if I decide I need more room, I can take this out and add some more down. So, yeah, this is exactly what I wanted. So, like I said, I'm going to finish up sanding this down, getting it all set. I don't think I'm going to stain it or anything. I think I'll just leave it natural. It's just going to be tools hung on it, so it doesn't need to be, pretty or anything. But that's it. That's putting up a French cleat wall. Actually, cleaning the whole wall up and putting the cleats up. That's what I'm going to do for this video. So thanks for watching. I do appreciate it. Like I said earlier in the video, if you are new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. It really does help me out. Helps me to be able to buy this stuff. This wood is not cheap. Any wood is not cheap right now. If you already subscribed, hit that bell icon. You get a notification anytime I get a new video up. My next one is probably going to be building an accessory for this. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't like the video, give me a thumbs down. That's fine. If there's a better way that I could have done this, let me know, because I'm still learning this stuff here. So, yeah, leave me a comment below. So that's it. Thanks for watching. I do appreciate it. It's MPV Vlogs. I'm Mark Plant, and I'll see you guys again real soon.
You ever felt? Are you listening? Damn. Yeah. Yeah.